put aside what they say about IQ being something innate that you either have or don't have, or that it's genetic and out of your hands. The reality is something else. Are you ready to hear a truth that will change your mental framework? You know what it would mean if I told you that IQ isn't a number, it's a muscle? Something you can make stronger every single day? You know why? Have you ever thought about how many great figures in history were just ordinary people at first? No, let me put it more accurately. They were even more ordinary than us. Look at Einstein. In school, they used to say this kid is a bit slow. It might be hard to believe, but Isaac Newton, one of the most influential scientists in history and the discoverer of the law of gravity, wasn't a brilliant student at all during his school days. He didn't have much interest in lessons and homework. Now, they became the greatest geniuses in history. How? They only did one thing. They changed their habits. Intelligence is like a mountain stream, not stagnant water. You can guide it any way you want, it will flow that way, and along the path it becomes clearer and more roaring. As Alfred Binet, the very person who created the IQ test, said, "You should never view intelligence as something fixed, because it can be developed through practice and education. In fact, daily habits are like gardening, and the brain is like a garden. Whatever you sow, that's what you will reap. If you want to become smarter, just change your habits. It's like taking an old car, giving it a major overhaul, and taking it to the racetrack. You just have to start. Now, cultivate these 6 habits within yourself. Pay extra attention to the 5th one. 1. Steps that open paths in your mind. Let me give you a challenge. From today for the next 30 days, go for a half-hour walk every day. But not with your phone, not with music, not with a podcast. Just you and the street. Why? Because we've gotten used to always having something in our ears, watching a video, reading something. We think the more we know, the smarter we are. But the equation is the opposite. The brain becomes smarter when it is forced to work with the information it already has, to have mental creativity and deep thought. I want to tell you something that might sound strange. Abraham Maslow, the famous psychologist, said, "The ability to tolerate ambiguity and not knowing is a characteristic of creative people." It means if you can stay in a state of not knowing for a while and give your brain a chance to find the answer itself, you'll reach things that no book can teach you. 2. Let your brain sweat. Look, smart people have an interesting habit. When they encounter a problem, they don't immediately jump to Google or ask someone else. They wait a bit. They grapple with the problem themselves. Meaning you let your brain sweat a little. Let it struggle. Let it fail. Let it get back up. This is where it gets strong. Carl Rogers, the great psychologist, said, "The things a person can discover through their own effort are never as difficult as they seem. The problem is that usually, instead of letting them discover it themselves, we give them the answer too soon." Set a rule from today. Whenever you have a question and run into a problem, don't give up easily. Before you ask someone or search on Google, grapple with it yourself for at least 10 minutes. Write down the best answer you can come up with, then go to others. This 10 minutes is golden. 3. Organize the cluttered room of your mind by writing. Look, most of us write down whatever we hear or read so we don't forget. But smart people do something else. They write to organize their thoughts, to understand what's going on deep down in their minds. James Pennebaker, a psychologist who has done extensive research on writing, said, "Writing is like opening up your mind and letting everything pour out. Then you can see what's really inside your head. It's like a messy room. You can't tidy it up until you've thrown everything out. That's what writing is. You pour it out, then you see what's what." Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, had lots of notebooks. He was always writing. He once said, "Until I write it down, I don't really know what I think." So, let's be a little honest with ourselves. All those thoughts in your head, those ideas that come and go, those questions with no answers, they're all like smoke until they land on paper. You might think writing is for remembering, but the truth is, it's for discovering things you didn't even know were in your mind. Tonight, take a piece of paper, a pen, put it in front of you. Ask yourself, what did I really understand today? What confused me? Which thought still won't let me go? And start writing. Even if it seems silly, even if it's messy. It doesn't matter. It's just you and the paper. 30 days later, when you look back at these writings, you'll see how much of yourself you didn't know. And only then will you understand why great people always had a notebook in their pocket. 4. Combined specializations. The secret of history's geniuses. Truly smart people don't just know one thing deeply. They know several things, and more importantly, they can connect them. New research shows that people who learn multiple disciplines have higher fluid intelligence. Meaning, in situations they haven't encountered before, they can think better. Daniel Goleman, the psychologist who wrote the book Emotional Intelligence, says, "Successful people are those who can build a big picture of the world from different experiences. It's like putting together a puzzle. Each piece is a specialization. The more pieces you have and the more skills you know, the clearer the picture becomes." Let's look at history. Look at Aristotle. He wasn't just a philosopher. He was a biologist, a physicist, a teacher. He even worked on poetry and music. Look at Goethe. He was a poet and writer, but at the same time, he was a biologist, a physicist, a philosopher. He even worked in geology and mineralogy. Why did they become such geniuses? Because they didn't see the world from just one angle. They had multiple glasses and changed them whenever necessary. 5. Without memory, the mansion of intelligence cannot be built. Let me tell you a secret. Memory is not a talent. Memory is a skill. It's like riding a bicycle. It takes practice. The more you practice, the stronger you get. Why is memory so important? Because memory isn't intelligence, but it's the foundation of intelligence. It means if you have a strong memory, you can think faster, reason better, and be more creative. It's like the foundations of a building. If the foundations aren't strong, the building collapses no matter how beautiful its facade is. Alan Baddeley, the psychologist who has done extensive work on memory, especially working memory, says, "The brain's working memory is like the central processor of a computer. It means the stronger this processor is, the faster and better everything gets done. Techniques like association and storytelling, changing your learning environment, mental review before sleep, and even switching hands for simple tasks, they all do one essential thing. They don't just pour information into your brain. They are rewiring your brain. They build new neural networks. They thicken the old pathways to build a solid foundation for your intelligence." 6. Recharge your intelligence battery with rest. Look, there's a wrong belief among us. We think a smart person is someone who thinks from morning till night, a robot that's always on. But no, truly smart people know the brain is like a battery. If you keep using it constantly, it drains. You have to leave it alone sometimes so it can recharge. Donald Hebb, a famous psychologist, has a beautiful saying, "If your brain is tired, you won't understand even the simplest things. It's like a phone. When its battery dies, you can't even make a simple call." Your brain is the same. Chronic stress, lack of sleep, constant noise. These are the #1 enemies of intelligence. They damage the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, planning, and reasoning. So, if you're always stressed, always tired, always in chaos, you are destroying your intelligence. So, in the end, I have to say the truth is, IQ doesn't increase with a magic pill, with a 1-month course, or with a miracle book. IQ increases with the right habits, with those same small things you repeat every day, not by accumulating a bunch of information. Information is like seeds, but habit is like the soil. If the soil isn't good, the seed won't sprout. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like it and send it to those who think IQ is fixed. Let them know it can be changed. Oh, and if you'd like to hear more of these things, subscribe. We have lots more content that you need to stay with me for.